How's it going? Welcome back to Dylan Pickups blog. So let's talk today about P90s, because a question, and I don't know if it's necessarily a question or a misconception that we get a lot of times, is the difference between a regular P90 like you see in this guitar and a humbucker size P90 like you see in the neck position of this guitar. And what the difference is and what you're actually asking for when you order one. So the thing about a P90 pickup is the shape of the coil. They're 1/4 of an inch tall, and right about there, and they are longer than a humbucker. And what that does is it gives you a flat, wide coil, and that's why a P90 sounds the way it sounds, okay? As opposed to, say, a Stratocaster single coil that is a lot taller and narrower. It's just a completely different tone. Well, we get people asking all the time, well, I have a guitar and I want it to sound like a P90, but I only have humbucker routes in it, and now I want to put a humbucker size P90 in it. The thing you have to realize, and there are some people that will say, well, it doesn't really sound like a P90. Well, it doesn't. And the reason is because you basically have to almost figure that this pickup stands on its own and it is its own pickup. It's not a evolution or whatever you want to call it of the regular P90. The reason for that is the humbucker is shorter in width than a P90, so you get the same height of pickup, the same width almost this way, but it doesn't get as long. You can't put as much wire on it in the same amount of space. There are some people that have come up with weird designs and ways to do this and try to make them sound more like a P90, but the bottom line is they are a different pickup. You can use different wire, there's different magnets, there's all kind of stuff you could do to make them sound more like a traditional P90, but the bottom line is it's a different pickup and it stands on its own. So what does it sound like? A lot of people, the comparison has been made over the years that a P90 is kind of like halfway between a humbucker and a single coil. Not entirely true, I suppose, but they do, when you dig into them, they really do, they are nice and big and fat like a humbucker, but they do have a single coil quality to them. If you were to take that and then put it into a hum size P90, because you can't make them, you can't wind as much wire on them, so they're not as high DC resistance as a regular one. So they are kind of, if you took this pickup and then kind of lean it a little more towards a Strat, I guess is kind of the way to say that. You can make them a little different with different diameters of wire and stuff, but if you were to wind it and not change anything, just use the same exact magnets that are in this pickup, the same winding wire that is in this pickup, same coil wire, same diameter, as in this pickup, and put it on here, it wouldn't be as high of a DC resistance. It would be a little bit more stratty, a little bit more high ends would come out, and it wouldn't really like growl as much when you really dug into it as this P90. They sound fantastic, but they are their own sound, and there are some things you can do. Pairing it with another low output humbucker is fantastic, like we're doing in this guitar. Putting two of them together in the same guitar is cool. There's a lot of things you can do with them. Putting them in a neck position of a Telecaster, for instance, that is killer. That sort of thing is a great thing to do with them, but you just have to remember that they do stand on their own and they are their own style of pickup. And there'll be probably people that disagree with me. Well, so-and-so makes a humbucker size P90 and it sounds exactly like a P90. That's probably because they've done something else inside, use different coil wire like I mentioned, or different magnets or something. But if you wind it like a traditional P90, it's not the same. So anyway, that's the scoop. They are cool. We do have them on the website at dylanpickups.com. You should check them out. They sound great and they do work awesome. They're fantastic, but they just are a little different. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you today. My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Pickups blog, and if you have any questions or anything about what we talked about today, definitely let me know. Check us out on Facebook at Dylan Pickups, YouTube at Dylan Pickups, Periscope at Dylan Pickups, Instagram at Dylan Pickups, all those places. You can find us at Dylan Pickups all over the interwebs. I hope you have a good afternoon.